Just in time for the 30th anniversary of Time Crisis' North American release, GAIME's successful Kickstarter of their plug-and-play lightgun console has begun shipping, and I got my hands on the Ultimate Edition. Packed with 2 light guns, a pedal, 4 Bandai Namco arcade classics, and some collectible goodies, GAIME has made a fun arcade experience for the living room. Mostly easy to set up, this niche plug-and-play experience does leave some things to be desired, and that's actually a good thing. We'll get into that and more in just a moment. Welcome everyone. You've been working all day and now it's after work. I'm Joe, and this is my review of the GAIME gun. Full disclosure, I was given this product for free as a review product from GAIME, and so, keep my words with a grain of salt, I guess, as we go through this review process, but this is all my own opinion, and GAIME has not seen this review going up prior to me sending it out. Everyone's seeing it fresh. It was my own thoughts for the first time, and also anything that y'all saw from like shorts that I posted up, that's all my own doing. I was having fun making all the edits for this stuff as well, so enjoy the review and let's clock in. We'll get the games out of the way first. If you were interested in how Point Blank, Steel Gunner 1 and 2, and Time Crisis all played, then you'll be happy to know everything runs pretty smooth. I'm sure there are other retro creators you can look up who will give you the full rundown on how these are like emulated frame by frame, but in my few days with the console, I couldn't notice any delay input or lag when running any of the games. Point Blank reminds me so much of WarioWare or Rhythm Heaven, just with a gun con as your controller. You run through a series of wacky time trials where you have to hit a target goal for each event. Steel Gunner 1 and 2 are super fast-paced on-rails games. It made me realize my eyes are getting too old for this, and I definitely could not keep up. There's tons of robotic enemies running through the city in both games, and you're also making sure you don't hit any of the civilians through each level, or you're penalized for that. The last in the one game that comes in each bundle is Time Crisis. Another arcade classic and the only game that utilizes the pedal in this whole package. You're the one-man army tasked with saving the president's daughter, Rachel, from Wild Dog, a criminal hired by former President Gatto, who's trying to obtain his throne again by force from the current Democratic president, William McPherson. These names are so 90s. Up next, let's talk about what's in the box. The Ultimate Package comes with 2 gun cons, 1 pedal for Time Crisis, a Time Crisis keychain, Time Crisis acrylic standee, a pin, and of course your HDMI cable with a USB-C cable that has an interchangeable adapter head, so it does come with an international suite of plugs, which is really nice. All 4 games do come in this bundle and the premium bundle, so if you want to save yourself about 50 bucks, premium bundle may be way to go. I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. The setup of the GAIME gun is pretty straightforward. However, I felt really dumb in that it took me some time to boot up the console the first couple times because you kind of have to like hold down the button for a couple seconds to get it to boot up. Now, I don't know if it's just mine that I had to do this with because I noticed the reset button is sturdy and clicky and there's an actual like physical click to it, but I had like push and hold down the power button all the way before it like powered on. So I held it for like a few seconds, then let go, and then I saw the blue light go on. I feel like I have to mention this because I don't know if anybody else may or has come across this in any of their consoles. So just fair warning, if you can't boot up or plug in, or you seem like you're pushing it once and like it's not booting up, just hold it down for a couple of seconds and then release it. Should work. Once it's booted up, funny enough, you'll be met with how to connect your device and set it all up together to the TV screen, which you can skip. Afterwards, you'll go through the calibration, which keep in mind, you'll want to calibrate your controller anytime you move your device to another monitor. Most people will keep it in one place. However, if you're planning on trying to connect this to your capture card and then bring it back to your TV afterwards, like me, then you'll probably be doing it a few times. Which brings me to my next heads up. And this is specifically for my streamer friends who might be thinking about getting this device and wanting to stream it. There are some caveats, and you probably will not want to be able to do it while you're directly connected to your capture card in front of your monitor because of all the lights and stuff like that. So I'll explain, and you can make your decision from there. And I have to be clear, this is not a slight to the company. It's just the way the tech is handled within the controller for all the calibration. But if you plan on trying to stream it, just be mindful on all your lighting. Any reflections will interfere with the accuracy of your controller, and it's mentioned on the box as well. And I don't mean just a little, it will throw off the aim wildly to the point that you will not be able to aim and actually land a hit on any enemy. So let's say you have a ring light over your camera and your camera is next to your computer monitor. That will very much interfere with your aiming in the game. No matter how many times you perfectly calibrate your monitor, it's just going to throw it off. It's the light reflecting into the gun that's going towards the TV. There's too much happening that's interfering with it already. So you're just not going to land a hit. That's been my personal experience, so I'm keeping it to the TV as intended. I'm not knocking any points. I don't do points for reviews, but I'm not knocking any points for this stuff because it's not intended for streaming. It's meant for like a living room home experience and stuff like that. And I just wanted to let people know, because if they maybe want to change their setup, if they do plan on streaming it, it is possible. It's just, you know, you kind of have to finagle your setup a little bit more with, you know, no lights essentially, or at least, you know, any of these lights. You can have your like your living room light on and stuff like that, but like if you're talking about like having lighting for your camera for you on stream, it was impossible for me to do anything. So like even keeping everything a lot lower at like its lowest setting but still on, threw it off completely. So I was in the pitch black dark. You can see it in all the footage that I took was, you know, none of these monitor lights or anything like that going on in order for me to be able to actually play these games. If I had to recommend best bang for your buck, I'd probably say the premium edition is the best way to go. Unless you're really wanting the 2-player experience, that one still comes with all the games and you get the pedal included. To me, the basic feels like it would have been worth opting in for it if it at least included one more game or the pedal, so you can at least get the true arcade experience with Time Crisis. You can, however, buy the individual game gun and pedal off their website directly, which is nice if you want to get the additional accessories down the road. However, there's no option or way this time to add games onto the console itself, so keep that in mind when deciding. Overall, the packaging and final delivery of this device is filled with love and care for not just Time Crisis and the selection of Bandai Namco games that are included, but the care and thought to even have the GunCon design and pedal included, providing the closest arcade at home experience you can have. If there was a way to add more games to the device down the road, let's say by use of any of the USB-C ports in the front of the console, that'd be something that could take this to the next level in terms of retro arcade experiences at home. Considering those who have purchased the device already and given the Kickstarter blew its initial goal out the water, I hope this could breathe life into more down the road. Their partnership with Bandai Namco brings hope in additional plug-and-play devices where maybe we can just purchase the unit itself if one has the necessary accessories in hand and get something like a Time Crisis 2 with a set of another 3 games in it. This is my high school copy of Time Crisis 2. This was the first Time Crisis game that I played before going through all of them in the arcades and stuff like that as they released. But this one means so much. I never got to play with a GunCon growing up, so I always played this with a controller, so actually being able to play it not at an arcade and have it here at home, it's right now it's all set up back there. Well, it's all neatly wrapped up over there, but it has been a gem to actually fiddle around and just have a good time jumping into Time Crisis. I've spent the most time on that over the 4 games, but bro, game, if y'all hook it up with another one, Time Crisis 2, slap that bad boy on there. The game gun is perfectly made for game nights or larger get-togethers, something a family can even enjoy. I know, gun controllers and all that, but this device reminded me of my early teenage years when my dad brought home this third-party plug-and-play that was an Atari joystick with composite cables sticking out of it. And you connected it to the TV and selected whatever Atari games were available on it. It wasn't the craziest thing on the planet, and it was very rinky-dink, and I think the wire had broken some. I'm sure it was a very, very low-cost device, but it got the family together for a little bit. And so it's one of those things that I was thinking about as I was playing this, was just those little moments that you get to spend together, whether it be with a sibling or your dad. Let me know what you think of the game gun, and if you plan on picking it up, let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually curious to see who planned or did, if you did the Kickstarter too, let me know as well. It's all on the website. I'll leave the links in the description down below. There's no affiliate links or anything like that. They gave me a free product to review, and I'm thankful enough for that. So if you all enjoy what you saw here, give it a like, share it with your friends, let them know what we do here. I also stream on Twitch as well. I'll be streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and either Saturday or Sunday. I usually pick a weekend day as well. Usually around 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time is my start time, depending on how much I have going on at my day job and all that stuff. And I will see you all then. So with that said, take care, love y'all, and remember, fight for your dreams, and your dreams will fight for you.